Hi, my name's Norman. Have you ever looked at someone who seems effortlessly confident and thought, what's their secret? Are they taking some kind of magical confidence pill that I don't know about? Meanwhile, I was over here overthinking every decision, stuck in a loop of doubt and awkward silences. For years, I thought confidence was something you either had or didn't. And since I didn't, I figured I was just stuck being the awkward person in the corner forever. But then I learned something that changed everything. Confidence isn't some magic trait you're born with. It's a skill you can build, piece by piece. To save you time and effort, I want to share the most effective methods from those books, the ones that genuinely worked for me and transformed my life.
Wow, confidence. A place of wonders. Too bad I'll never get there.
Well, you've already reached that place of wonder, Norman. It's a skill anyone can learn, and you'll learn it too.
How do you know what I'll be doing? And, by the way, who are you?
I'm you, just the better version.
Well, you can't be, because I'm me and you're someone else.
Nope, we're the same person, just at different points in time. You're me from 2 years ago.
Huh, I don't get it.
You will. Anyways, let's get back to what I'm talking about. Let me tell you 5 simple tricks that helped me go from overthinking every word to actually feeling comfortable in my own skin. These steps aren't just theories. They're practical and proven. But before we dive into them, let's start with the foundation. What is confidence? Confidence is the ability to take action, even in the face of uncertainty or failure. And here's the good news. You don't need to become someone else to be confident. These principles will help you uncover the version of yourself that truly believes in your potential. So if you've ever caught yourself thinking, can I really feel confident? The answer is yes. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where to start. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Ready to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up when you can't control the outcome. Brené Brown. How often do you let yourself be truly seen? For years, I avoided it. Vulnerability felt like inviting judgment or rejection. I'd say, I'm fine, even when I wasn't. At work, I stayed silent, fearing I'd look stupid. In relationships, I kept people at a distance, afraid to show the messy, imperfect me. Hiding felt safe, but it also felt lonely. One day, after yet another silent meeting, I thought, I can't keep doing this. Later, while chatting with a friend, I took a scary step and admitted, I feel stuck. To my surprise, he nodded and said, I've been there too. That moment taught me, vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. And courage is the key to real confidence. Take a moment. Can you recognize vulnerability when you see it? Imagine these situations and think about how you'd respond. At a gym class, the instructor asks if anyone has questions. You're unsure about an exercise, but you don't want to embarrass yourself. Do you ask, or do you stay quiet? Suggested approach. Ask for clarification. It shows commitment, and others likely have the same question. In a family gathering, someone from your family, let's say your cousin, asks about your goals at a family dinner, but you're struggling with them. Do you admit it or brush it off? Suggested approach. Share honestly, but within your comfort zone, like, I've hit a few challenges, but I'm working through them. In a new group, you're asked to share a fun fact in a new activity group. Do you pick something personal or play it safe? Suggested approach. Share something true but comfortable, like, I recently started learning guitar. It's been challenging, but fun. These moments might feel small, but they're powerful. They're chances to step into vulnerability and create deeper connections. You don't have to jump into vulnerability all at once. Start small. So what walls are you hiding behind? They might feel safe, but they're keeping you stuck. Start tearing them down, one brick at a time. Chapter 2. Rank your discomfort. Do one thing every day that scares you. Eleanor Roosevelt. What's something you've been avoiding because it feels uncomfortable? I used to avoid everything. Speaking up, asking for help, you name it. Thinking, if I don't try, I can't fail. But the real failure is avoiding it. Growth happens in the stretch zone. Pushing just enough to grow without overwhelm. Ranking your discomfort helps you know where to start. Here's how it works. Rank the things that scare you on a scale from 1 to 10. A 1 is easy, like saying, good morning to your neighbor. And what about something that is 10? That's the stuff that makes your palms sweat, like giving a big presentation. At first, even small things felt overwhelming. Asking a store employee for help? That was a 5 for me. Approaching a stranger? An 8? Starting a conversation at a party? It can be a 9. Sounds familiar? Back then, I couldn't even order pizza with pineapple because I was so uncomfortable.
Wait a second.
Yes?
Pizza with pineapple? Really?
Yes, pizza with pineapple. Criticize me all you want, but back then, you didn't even know how good pineapples were as toppings. Just let me finish, please. Now, back to you. What feels like a 5 or 6 on your discomfort scale? Something that stretches you, but doesn't paralyze you. That's where you start. And yeah, it won't be easy. My voice shook, and I stumbled over words. But when I walked out with my order, I felt pride. It was a small win, but it was mine. So, how about we take the first step together? Now that we've explored this method and understood how it works, let's take a moment to practice what we've learned and apply it. I will give you some possible life situations. Please practice rating them on a discomfort scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is super easy and 10 is extremely difficult. Starting a conversation. You're sitting in a coffee shop and you notice someone nearby wearing a t-shirt featuring a band you like. How uncomfortable would it feel to casually say, "Hey, I love that band." Asking for a favor. You need to ask someone for a ride. How uncomfortable is it to approach them? Expressing a complaint. At a restaurant, your meal is wrong. How uncomfortable would it feel to call the waiter and explain the issue? Take a moment to reflect on these situations. Which one feels slightly uncomfortable but doable? A 5 or 6 on your scale. That's your starting point. Progress comes from taking small, manageable steps forward. Here's the best part. Over time, those 5s become 3s. The 8s shrink to 7s, and what once felt terrifying becomes second nature. You don't need to tackle the 10s yet. Start small. Every step forward builds momentum, and that's where confidence lives. Chapter 3. Imagine your ideal therapist. Talk to yourself like you would to someone you love. Brené Brown. Let me ask you, if the voice in your head were a real person, would you want to hang out with it? For me, the answer was a hard no. That voice was my biggest critic. Every small mistake felt like a disaster. Harsh, right? But I let it run the show for years. Maybe you can relate. Then one day, I read about an interesting idea. What if I replaced that inner critic with a supportive voice? Imagine an ideal therapist, calm, wise, and patient. Someone who has your back no matter what. At first, it felt ridiculous, but I was desperate enough to try it. I pictured someone who wouldn't freak out if I messed up, but would calmly remind me, "It's okay. You're learning."
Wait. Ideal therapist? I think I should be the one. I'm already here. Ideal, qualified, and everything.
Technically, no. You're literally my old self. We're trying to move forward here, not go backward.
Fine. No offense taken. I'll just be over here.
Anyway, I tried this exercise while sitting at my desk, stuck on a project. I closed my eyes and asked, What would my ideal coach say to me right now? Immediately, I heard them say, just get it done. It doesn't need to be perfect, and you can improve it later. That simple shift helped me stop overthinking and start doing. Over time, that supportive voice became my own. Now, when I mess up, I don't spiral. I pause and ask myself, what's the lesson here? I talk to myself with patience and encouragement, just like I would to a friend. Here's the truth. The way you talk to yourself matters. So, try this. Close your eyes and imagine someone who truly believes in you. What would they say when things get tough? Write it down. Those words? That's your new inner voice. Confidence doesn't come from never failing. It comes from treating yourself with kindness and learning to get back up. And trust me, it's a skill you can build, one supportive word at a time. Chapter 4. Kill perfectionism. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Winston Churchill. Have you ever stopped yourself from finishing something because it's not perfect? Well, I used to do it a lot as if it was a hobby. I thought perfectionism kept me prepared, but it only kept me stuck, rewriting emails, overthinking, and leaving projects unfinished. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. Perfectionism doesn't protect you from failure. It guarantees it. If you never finish, you never succeed. One day, I told myself, just finish it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I hit send on something far from flawless, and guess what? No one noticed the flaws. They appreciated the effort, not the imaginary mistakes. That's when I realized confidence isn't about perfection. It's about trusting yourself to take action, even when it's messy. Done is better than perfect. Let's pause for a moment. Can you spot perfectionism in your life? Think about these situations and what you'd do. Writing a report. Let's imagine that you are stuck on the introduction part. Do you tweak endlessly or move on, trusting you can refine it later? Suggested approach. Write a rough draft, then refine once the main content is complete. Starting a passion project. Waiting for the perfect time to start your blog, channel, or side hustle. Do you keep planning or take the leap even if it's messy? Suggested approach. Start small and adapt as you go. You'll learn by doing. Learning a new skill. Want to learn something new but feel unprepared? Do you start with what you have or wait until everything feels perfect? Suggested approach. Begin with the basics and improve your tools or methods over time. These moments might seem small, but they reveal a lot about how perfectionism sneaks into your life. So, what's something you've been avoiding because it's not ready yet? A project? A message? Whatever it is, finish it today, even if it's messy or imperfect. Every time you take action, you're proving to yourself that you're capable, and that's where real confidence comes from. Perfectionism isn't your friend. It's what's keeping you stuck. Let it go, one small step at a time. You don't need to be perfect. You just have to start. Chapter 5. Do not stop. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Martin Luther King Jr. Let me ask you, have you ever looked at a long to-do list and just frozen? You stare at everything you need to do, feel completely overwhelmed, and before you know it, you're scrolling on your phone convincing yourself, I'll start in 5 minutes. That used to be my life. And spoiler, those 5 minutes always turned into hours. I told myself, if I can't do it all, what's the point? What are you doing?
Wait a second, I'm busy.
Are you even listening to me?
Yeah, just give me 5 minutes. I'll catch up.
Huh. But here's what I learned. The secret to breaking that cycle isn't a grand leap. It's small actions, doing something that helps you, no matter how tiny. So, I set a timer for 2 minutes and told myself, write one sentence for your first video. No pressure, just something to move me forward. Once I started, I didn't stop. That one sentence turned into an idea. That idea turned into a script. And as the process went on, I had the framework for my first video. And here's the crazy part. What started with that one sentence is what you're watching right now. When you do something that helps you even small, you're keeping a promise to yourself. And when you keep promises, you build confidence. Now, whenever I feel stuck, I focus on the next tiny step. If I don't feel like working out, I say, do one push-up. If I don't feel like tackling a big project, I say, just open the document. These small actions create momentum, and that momentum builds confidence. So here's my challenge. What's one small thing you can do today? Not the whole project, just one step. Set a timer for 2 minutes and see what happens. It's not about how much you do. It's about proving to yourself you can take action. And that proof, it adds up over time. These days, I still have moments where I feel like doing nothing. But instead of scrolling or procrastinating, I remind myself, just start small. And you know what? It works every time. Building confidence isn't about some dramatic overnight transformation. It's about making small intentional changes that compound over time. It's those little actions, those tiny promises you keep to yourself, that add up and create lasting growth. So if this video sparked even just one idea to help you move forward, take that first step. You'd be amazed at where it could lead. And hey, if any part of this resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment below and let me know what clicked for you. If you found this helpful, hit like, share it with someone who might need a little boost. And don't forget to subscribe. You're not just building confidence, you're building a better version of yourself. Keep showing up, and I'll see you in the next one.